Hello and welcome to my cooking channel, Czech Cookbook. Today we'll be making a vegetable mixture and I have no idea how to call it in English, but in Czech we call it Lečo. And it's very popular, especially in summer when you have abundance of tomatoes and peppers. Then you make this and it's a very cheap meal and delicious. So what we'll need is half an onion, 1 tablespoon of oil, 3 tomatoes, 1 pepper. It depends what kind of peppers you have home or you like. I have right now red peppers, so that's what I'm going to use. 2 hot dogs, half a cup of water, half a teaspoon of salt, little bit of pepper, another half a cup of water, and 2 tablespoons of flour. And at the end we will put some egg in it. So let's start. In my family, we don't really like the skin on the tomatoes in this dish because when you cook it, the skin just separates from the tomato and it rolls up and it just doesn't look too good. But if you don't want to make this step, just skip it if you don't mind that look. It tastes the same. It just looks a little different. You can just chop your tomatoes right now on a small pieces and you can skip this step. Turn on the flame and you want to bring it almost to the boil, but they don't have to be boiling. By bringing them almost to the boil, you'll be able to easily peel off the skin. While we wait for our tomatoes to be ready, we can already chop up our ingredients. So let's start with the onion. And let's cut it on small pieces. The onion is chopped up, so we can put it in the pot. And now we can cut our peppers. I just cut it on small strips, and then we will chop it even more. About this big, could be even smaller. Peppers are chopped, so set them aside. And last thing are our 2 hot dogs. I just cut it on small circles. That's fine. Hot dogs are cut, and let's check our tomatoes because those are the last ones that we will need to cut. Tomatoes are perfect, and as you can see, I hope you can see, the skin is already peeling off. You can see it cracked, and that's perfect. And you see the bubbles around, and we don't need to boil them. So let's turn it off, and let's get the water out. The tomatoes are pretty hot, so you will want a fork. They're still hard. And now you see the skin is peeling off nicely, and you can just do it like that. It falls right off. My camera was not set up too well and you couldn't see how I was peeling it, so I have to show you. The skin is super easy to peel. You just take it like that with a knife and just pull and it easily come off. You just scrape a little and the skin is off. Let's cut the middle out. It's not as hot now, so we can touch it. Be careful so you don't cut yourself. Or you can cut it when you cut the half. It's really juicy and you will want to keep those juices. And now you can just go like this, like that. Little wedge, and you got it. So let's chop these in small pieces. I put the other tomatoes that I will cut later on the plate because I don't want to lose these amazing juices from tomatoes. Let's put it all in the extra bowl. I cut it in the middle and then I just chop it like this. First step, we will roast our onion. That's a half an onion on about 1 tablespoon of oil. That's good. Let's turn on the flame. You will want to keep it on high and don't stir it the whole time to give onions the chance to roast. But as soon as I see my pot getting little burns on the edges, I'll have to lower my flame a little bit. Still needs a little more color. This is a good color and I love the smell of roasted onions. It smells amazing. Now we will add our pepper, 1 pepper, and half a cup of water. We will have to cook it till it's tender, so let's raise the flame. Wait till water starts to boil and then you can lower the heat and cook it about 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, we'll be adding more ingredients. Now I have these tomatoes and they are pretty juicy. So if you don't have as juicy tomatoes, you might need to add more water. So let's add our 3 tomatoes and 2 hot dogs chopped up. Now we'll be adding half a teaspoon of salt, mostly on those veggies because hot dogs have enough, and some pepper. You can add as much as you like. Stir this together. Now the tomatoes will release even more juices when they are cooking, when they'll be cooking. Now let's cook them about 10 minutes. While we wait for our vegetables to get soft, let's prepare a few more things that we will need. So let's crack 1 egg into a cup. This way it's easier. Let's mix it up just so we can break the egg yolk and kind of mix it all together. That's fine. Set it aside. And here we will prepare our flour mixture that will help to thicken our sauce. Some people skip this part, but my mom would always thicken the sauce, this kind of sauce. So that's what I'm doing. So it's 2 tablespoons of flour and a half cup of water. And now we need to whisk it. Let's whisk it together so we don't have any flour clumps. That looks also good. But I leave the whisk in because right before we put it in, the flour will settle down. So we will need to whisk it again before we put it in our veggie sauce. It's about 7 minutes in. So let's stir it a little bit and check our juices, and it looks good because you have to make sure it's not dry. After 10 minutes, this looks for sure ready. Starts to stick to the bottom. And now we will thicken it up. And as you see, the flour did go to the bottom, so just whisk it a little bit. And let's pour it in and keep stirring. And we can raise the flame a little bit. You want to cook it just a little bit because you see it's already thickened up. And now we can put our egg in, and that's the last thing. And now you want to stir and wait for the egg to cook. Shouldn't take too long. Oh, it smells amazing. Just eating this reminds me summers in Czech Republic, growing up having this amazing meal. It's such a great combination with the hot dog. You can use also kielbasa if you have. It's so good. All the flavors, all the vegetables, plus that hot dog. And you can also eat it with the bread. That's what we always ate it with a slice of rye or any bread. It's really good. So I hope you try it. It's super fast, it's easy, and it fills you up for little money. So I hope you like this episode, and I wish you a great rest of the day. Bye!